Hello everyone, welcome back to Hare over here. I'm Hare. Today we are reflection. The Edge of Eternities pre-release kit. I haven't really looked into much of the spoilers. I do see them mostly popping up in a local Facebook commander group. Um, most I am iffy on the set. It seems cool, but at the same time, I think I described it in my uh, recent Final Fantasy quick draft video, which I'll have linked down below. Um, Final Fantasy somewhat makes sense, just like Lord of the Rings, in that with a crossover with Final Fantasy, in the sense that they, uh, in my mind, there's always been this high fantasy, high medieval fantasy. Um, Not always, but there's always been this like high fantasy elements with it. May it be ancient Greek, Gothic hall within a shard, or the Greek mythology with pharaohs. Some of the elements of Final Fantasy works with it extremely well because it's always built itself on like either like a medieval European or like at least a steampunky, even the some of the uh steampunk, and these are steampunks that you got with uh like 5 and 6, the diesel punk that you got with Final Fantasy 7. A lot of the aesthetics are still like very high fantasy. Now we move into Final Fantasy in space with Edge of Edge of Eternities. I don't know why I want to say Edge of Infinities, but that's not right. And I'm like, where's the like? It's not exactly the same in my mind. Uh, okay, the dice actually seem somewhat cool. This one I have the Final Fantasy one here, black. They seem to be moving into like solid black with colors, the number colorizations being within the actual symbols instead of them changing the actual color dye. But yeah, I didn't exactly do an event this time around, but I have. Ooh, I saw this guy. He's my pre-release promo. Jou Ifit Astro Harmonist. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a skeleton, it's a skeleton in addition to its other creature types and has no. This in itself, as a maybe a commander or something, it it could be cool. It could definitely be uh a cool commander, uh like resurrecting big stuff, and just like who cares about what, like resurrect these big things and then negate their downsides, or just resurrect these big things. um or you could play in the 99 with like in a Demir shell and just like, oh yeah, put it in, bring it back, and or like, and then place things that might blink your command or something. um Blink the cards that will return, getting, yeah, eliminating the skeleton but getting back the effect. So might see playing commander, one black. People might find a use for it in a few formats, but I'm not 100% sure where they would exactly find it. But definitely a cool card in my mind. definitely worth checking out in a few places. But yeah, thought I would go through, like, as tradition, it's either go through the actual what I played, which obviously, like I said, I didn't exactly get uh play an event this weekend, but or this previous weekend, but um okay, the warp mechanic I find a little cool. I found it a tad bit confusing at first, but the warp mechanic is pretty cool. Pay a cheaper price, get it out for a ton, exile it, pay its regular mana cost to get it back. Later on. So it really Wizards really have been like doing the like the this happens twice. Uh like either doing a double face, like this has two modes on it with like mode 1, mode 2, but this is like you get the same card twice. It's like so depending on what they you get, it absolutely great. Um so I'm reading this guy Fell Grave Ship. When this spacecraft enters, mill 3 cards, then return a creature or spacecraft from among your graveyard to your hand. Station uh, becomes once it gains 8 charge counters, it becomes a flying lifelink 3/2. Uh, it is. I could see maybe for 3 mana, maybe. Um. Ooh. Ooh. Uh, Setting that aside for a moment. I am the spacecrafts. I am 50-50 on them, mostly on the fact of like, yeah, they are cool alternative to vehicles, and if you want to do vehicles in space, it's like, oh, how do we do this? It's like you can't like unless we make the crew cost absolutely huge. Like we want to betray that like these vehicles are much bigger than a vehicle. It requires more than one creature at times. So it's like I get that, but it's like at the same and having charge counters on them is absolutely great in the fact that it like you can do proliferating and things that play with charge counters extremely well. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I have a way of removing your counters. Muhahaha. So it's like they're going to see play, no question. But I am mixed on how often they'll actually see play. But I was gonna say Honor seems pretty cool. Put a +1/+1 counter on something and draw on for white. White always could use card draw, but also like just saying you get a counter for 1 white. That it's gonna see limited play for sure as an uncommon. Might in a boss aggro deck definitely gonna see play. Um, like a white weenie style, and I think I was thinking of another card with the Serum. Um, ooh, I got 2 ways. The Serum, legendary artifacts, Starcraft. When the Serum enters, search your library for a legendary creature, reveal it, and point to hand, and shuffle. Station, and after 7 charge counters, it becomes a flying 5/5. Other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. Yeah. Um. Oh, I was like, wait, can we do station at instant speed? No, you can't. Which I get it. It's you don't want exactly like, yeah, let's make station really abusable. Definitely with things like the sound that says, "Oh yeah, oh you're about to board wipe." In response, I tap all my creatures out and give them indestructible. Board wipe doesn't work. And I got another rare in the uh, Scrounge for Eternity as the Hollow and another rare. As an additional cost, cast the spell. To cast the spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Return target artifact or target creature or spellcraft card from your hand with mana value. Okay. Return target creature or spacecraft with mana value 5 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then create a lander token, which is 2 tap and sack. Search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped. All for 3 mana. Oh, and it's an uncommon, sorry. It's a I light, but for 3 mana, sack creature, get something, potentially turn like a 1 thing into a 5 thing, and get like a lander token, which is like let's like, allows you to go digging for basic lands. Lander tokens are definitely going to be a thing in limited, because we need that late game mana sink, plus get rid of uh, lands, a land draw in the late game, which is gonna be big. Uh, okay, admittedly, this was the first card I saw in my next pack. +2 no, oh, as long as you cast 2 or more spells. I like that they doing like, oh yeah, instead of there's still the occasional, as long as you have these many things, this gets a bad boost. Or it's like, yeah, we want you to do a lot of spell slinging, so we're going to benefit you, kind of shoot. So, which I enjoy quite a bit. Ooh, no, okay, Crypto Shadow. Enchant creature gets -5, -0, so already basically blue removal. But enchanted creature becomes tapped or is dealt damage destroyed. So they can do like this is basically an almost better pacifism in the fact that somewhat in the well, I wouldn't say better. Pacifism can attack or block, but you can do other things with it. This says lower the power if you like, even if you like, it basically says you can jump with block with this creature once, or you can just and if you attempt to tap it to do something, it's also gone. Granted, you can't exactly because it's getting -5, -0, you can't put it in for station walk, but to put charge counters on stations. But when this creature or another creature, ooh, another another one of these guys. Whenever an artifact or creature, whenever this guy or another artifact or creature dies, drain target opponent. So they did that last set. I some reason this it makes me happy. I'm setting that aside because I have a reason for I have a deck that I might want to put that in, but I'm actually loving that that's in there. And yeah, I got 3 uncommons from that. Target Okay, no, I was reading Rescue Skiff. Uh, when it enters, return a creature or enchantment from a graveyard to the battlefield. Uh, uh, when it gets the 10 charge counters, it becomes a 5/6 with flying. Again, I've said this before. I really like the fact that white is getting more, uh, getting a whole lot more in terms of just like random uh, reanimator cards. I just enjoy it. It like somewhat proving to me that white is one of those like is one of the best colors of Magic. I know I will get hate for it, but I believe it actively, full heartedly. That Magic, that white is becoming one of those like I'm a master, like I'm a jack of all trade, master of no, no, well, I'm a jack of all trades, master of some things, and it's one of those things that's like, what, white is just getting a lot of cool tricks, definitely over the last few sets, including reanimator stuff. The veil is quantum Vittler. Yeah, when this creature enters, draw a card. As you have one of your cards in hand, if you would draw a card, draw one or more cards, you draw that many cards plus one instead. That is pretty cool. Might want to consider that for comic potentially. And it has a warp cost. It normally costs 5, and it has a warp cost of 1 in the blue. Okay. Ooh. Uh, what I'm oohing about is I got. Oh, shoot! I didn't even got a warping whale alternative art. A warping whale is still a cool card in my mind, but it's the frame. I was like, what's up with the card? Not sure. Like if you get one of these, it's the edges. It's like it looks as if it's damaged. Yeah, you can somewhat see it in the focus on. There it goes. See around the edges, it looks damaged, but it's like, oh no, it isn't. It's part of the artwork. So that is pretty dang awesome in my mind. And I got another 4 uncommons. I'm not sure if they are because I thought it was originally just 3 uncommons. They must be redoing the play boosters. Must be doing some different things with that. Okay, got I actually got 2 rares this time around. Um, Sunset's Avatar, Menace, War, discard a card, cool alternative. Uh, Whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and opponent controls. 2 mana for a 4/1. Hmm. So 2 mana. So a 4/1 with menace can come down on turn 2. Bulk pile most likely, unless we are pushing the rare. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I was completely wrong. It's another uncommon. I don't know what it is about this set. Both hollow uncommons that I got, I thought were rares at first glance. Whenever Hilala attacks or enters or attacks, put a counter on target creature you control. Whenever one or more creatures you control with a +1/+1 counters on them, with +1/+1 counters on them, deal combat damage or card. That, if you're doing things in counters and you are in green white, this is an auto include for any commander deck. If you can spread out the counters, that is. Um, but if you're already in green white, you're probably already doing that pretty effectively. They're doing a lot with corgis in the last few sets. I'm not arguing. I love me a corgi, but I'm just saying it's like, whoa, there's another corgi, which I love, but whoa, three uncommons. Uh, we got a Gardener's Shrine. Yay. Or I Abzan and Orzhov is probably one of my favorite color combos. But that's me. I'm a white mage at heart, and so a lot of like, and on top of it, Orzhov is just one of those color combos. And Exalted Sunborn, yeah, uh, Sunborn as our mythic, another token doubler. Yeah, five five mana. If you create at least one token, double it, and you get a flying life linking, a 4/5 flying life linker, with a warp cost of 2. So if you can't cast it immediately, and setting that aside for my Kimber deck, which I think I shared, link down below as well. Tails Symbiosis, an actual rare. Um, as a hollow ray on top of it. Whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, you may draw that many cards. Do this only once per turn. Yeah, if you're doing stuff with +1/+1 counters, you should probably be playing that anyway. Um, based on what I am seeing so far, I really can't play the Warping Whale. I'm seeing a lot of white and black. My rails aren't really giving me much focus on what I should be playing. And I'm not exactly like, let's see what I could build. I'm just like opening packs because I like them. Plus, I'm on a tighter budget nowadays, and I really should be watching what I pay for. So, what I'm oohing about is I got another alt art. It is a 4 art meter spy. The artwork looks amazing. I am about the name, like the text of the name, I am mad about. Yeah, my entire thing on it is I am mad on these showcases. They're cool, but I'm mad on them. The rare is Lightstar Inquisitor. Uh, 1 mana for 2/1 Vigilance. When this creature enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from the hand and may play that card as long as it remained exiled. Each spell cast this way costs 1 more to cast. Each land played this way enters tapped. Okay. Uh, a few like tempo decks might play that. That is. And one more pack to go. I mean, and my problem with like the aesthetics of Magic in Space is mostly like a story wise problem, but also like general uh aesthetics as well, because like Final Fantasy, even when it went for techno and diesel punk, like uh, Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 7, though like 7, it's diesel punk to the max. 8, it's like it's getting into the now that's more sci-fi. I need to actually play that in full, but 7, that is like diesel punk to the core, definitely in the early sections. Um, Final Fantasy 12, that is a techno futurism, but they're all still rooted in a fantasy element. This, I just feels like, oh, we are in a generic like fantasy set in a generic. This it doesn't feel like sci fantasy. This feels like in space, magic in space. Ignore the like fantasy elements that we've built up for the last 40 years. Yeah, I have opinions, very much so. Uh, like mechanically, the set, from what I've seen, seems fine. Maybe a few things are pushed, but yeah, it's stations again. It's one of those like vehicles were somewhat pushing it in the like when they were originally pushing it, but even that was still feeling like fantasy. It still was like painting itself as fantasy. This just doesn't stations. I think I might have to play with them. Just don't feel magicy at all. But again, that is a more of a me complaint more than a complaint against magic of the set as a whole. 0 point ballad is the veil. Destroy all creatures with toughness. Oh, egg, black and an X. Destroy all creatures with toughness X or less. You lose X life. If X is 6 or more, return a creature from a graveyard this way. Uh, in Put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. That is actually pretty cool. I would definitely have to play with the format some to actually like see how I feel with it, because it is one of those like I'm 50-50 on it, but uh like I said at the top of it, I didn't play in a pre-release event, since I really don't have any notions of how the format actually feels like. Tell me about your thoughts about Edge of Eternities down in the comments section down below. Give a like if you liked the video, give a dislike if you didn't, and tell me why you didn't like it down in the comment section down below. Do all the YouTube stuff. Uh, I'm a small time content creator. I do this for fun mostly. Yeah, I'll see you around, folks.